Welcome to WP Godmode. In this tutorial, I will show you the most important features of the AI teammate for WordPress. First, if you haven't done this already, you need to connect an AI provider in your dashboard. You can connect either ChatGPT Codex or Claude. Once the connection is active, we can move over to WordPress. On the settings page, you can enter your license key and check that your website is registered. Below, you can see the allowed users. By default, only administrators can access WP Godmode in your WordPress dashboard. Here we can choose which administrators have access to WP Godmode. If you want to build pages from Figma, you can connect WP Godmode to Figma using an API key. Here we can enable recovery mode. If something goes wrong while working with WP Godmode, you can use a recovery URL to fix fatal errors if WordPress no longer loads. To generate the URL, click this button. Then copy the URL and store it somewhere safe. Before we dive into WP Godmode Chat, there are a few features that can improve your workflow. You can define site-specific rules, such as coding standards or content guidelines. Every prompt you send in WP Godmode will automatically follow the rules you have configured. Skills help WP Godmode understand your website and workflows more effectively. We have already included the Breakdance Builder skill and an Elementor to Breakdance migration skill. More skills will be added over time, for example for Elementor, Bricks Builder and Divi. You can install skills here or import a skill from a zip file. You can also create your own skill if a specific skill is missing. You can create as many skills as you need. Simply describe what the skill should do. For example, if you are working on an Elementor website, ask WP Godmode to analyze the Elementor page builder so it can work with it more effectively later on. Now we are ready to dive into the main feature of WP Godmode, which is the chat interface. First, if you have connected multiple AI providers, you can select them from this drop-down menu. Next, we recommend checking the model settings. You can choose between Standard, Sharp, and Sharp Max, depending on the task. By default, auto-edits are enabled. This means that when you send a prompt, WP Godmode can automatically apply the changes. You can switch to Ask Before Edits. WP Godmode will then ask for approval before making changes. You can also disable edits completely. If you want to build more complex things, such as a custom plugin, we recommend using Plan Mode. When you use Plan Mode, WP Godmode will create a development plan for you, and you can decide how you want to continue. You can also verify changes with visual testing. When WP Godmode makes changes for you, it can open a browser and test the result automatically. Now we will start with our first prompt, just to check that everything is working. Analyze this website's stack. WP Godmode has now analyzed the entire website stack, including active plugins, the current theme, the server setup, PHP limits, and even the content. This helps ensure that AI actually understands the full website context before you start working. For this example, we will build a simple plugin using Plan Mode. The goal is to create a small plugin that displays the text "Hello World" through a shortcode on our homepage. Because we are in Plan Mode, WP Godmode proposes a development plan, and we can either approve it or request changes. The development is now finished, so let's check the plugin screen. We can see that our small custom plugin is already installed and activated. Now we check the homepage to see if it displays Hello World. And there it is. Next, let's look at an important feature for developers, the built-in code editor. I will use a simple prompt. and ask WP Godmode to register a custom post type called Events. It now asks us to open a folder so it can create the custom code there. WP Godmode has opened the code editor, created the project, and asks us to activate it. One important detail is that this code is not written directly into functions PHP. It is stored in a dedicated folder on your server called GM Projects. This gives you full control over the generated code. You can undo the changes at any time, check the history, or deactivate the project completely. When you are happy with the code, you can activate the project. You can also ask WP Godmode to write the code to a code snippets plugin or to functions PHP once you are ready. You can add many different file types to your chat, such as screenshots, mockups, and designs, as well as CSV files, PDFs, and Word documents. For example, we can upload an image and ask WP Godmode to recreate this section on our homepage. My prompt is intentionally simple, so keep in mind the more details you provide, the better the result will be. Even so, I am impressed by what WP Godmode created. It built a basic interactive prototype of our plugin interface. If you want to organize your chats, you can pin them, rename them, or move them into folders. Another important feature in WP Godmode is agents. Agents are ideal for recurring tasks. For example, you may need to generate blog articles for a client every 2 weeks, or run a malware scan every second day. Let's create one. Simply describe the title and the goal of the agent. I will use the prompt "Run a malware scan" on this website. The malware scan agent is now ready, and it has opened 4 different subchats for different workflows. You can also check the agent memory to see exactly what it is doing. The next time I visit the website, I can simply open the agent and write "Start Scan." This is a very simple example of an agent, but agents are designed for more complex autonomous workflows inside WordPress. That is it for now. If you want to share feedback about WP Godmode, click the Send Feedback button and let us know how we can improve.